All right, so let's move to BJ Armstrong, and first of all, BJ Armstrong is one of my favorite guys to listen to on podcasts. Man, he got really sound logic when he speak. But in this particular podcast, he was talking about the rule changes, or not even really the rule changes. He was talking about how the rules are interpreted and how the referees call certain things or not call certain things, what they allow. And specifically, he was talking about, carrying the ball. And you remember when Iverson came in and he was hurting people real bad with their crossover. They let him do it for like a year or two, and I think people started complaining about it because it was really a real advantage. Like that crossover would give him as much space as he needed for his jump shot or to get all the way to the rim. It was like you can't stop it because these guys didn't know if he was going to explode and go left or if he was going to come back. Like nobody ever could really stay with it. Jordan, and when he got shook up real bad, Jordan might have been on it pretty good. He didn't get shook out of his boots, because when he actually took the jump shot, Michael Jordan almost blocked it, so he recovered well. But I seen that crossover really hurt some people, right? And they banned it. That was like, nah, you're palming the ball. Like your hand is going too far under the ball. And that was one guy that they banned that for. It wasn't a lot of people doing that. Iverson might have been the only one really palming the ball from, putting his hand under the ball before he make his moves, right? But now, years later, it's normal for anybody to do it. And BJ was talking about that, and this is what he said.
You know what's really amazing when you watch the game, Mo? Okay, one, the rules have changed. Okay, so when you're making these comparisons, it's not really a comparison because the rules have changed. So the game in the 80s and the 90s is a totally different game than what you're watching now. But you know what's really significant is the refereeing has really changed.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I was watching this highlight of Allen Iverson. And it was amazing for me to watch it. And the reason what made me watch it more was because my youngest son now, he wants to learn how to dribble. And we were doing, he's 8. So, we're just doing the basic ball handling dribbling. He just wants to learn how to dribble. And he was at basketball camp and he was showing me here and he wanted to practice and doing these things. But then I was watching Allen Iverson dribble and I thought, what an advantage it was to be able to kind of carry the ball when you're dribbling.
Mm-hmm.
So I started watching Allen Iverson and then I went and watched the Dallas Mavericks and I said, wow, Kyrie.
Viator has
he carries the ball. And then I went and watched Jamal Crawford. I was like, that's about the time it really started changing when Jamal Crawford and these guys kind of got in. And then I started watching Tim Hardaway and I was like, oh, wow, he was dribbling on top of the ball. And then I was just watching all of the players and I thought, Mo, to myself, if you could carry the ball like the guards do today, that's a huge advantage when you're playing. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying, Mo, the previous generation wasn't allowed to play that way because of the refereeing of the game. The biggest change has been the interpretation of the rules of the game, Mo. Like carrying, you'll see it called every now and then. But Mo, you weren't allowed to do that in the previous generations. And how different would it be if you were able to play carrying the ball? By the rules of that era, that was a carry. Now, the referees, Mo, now I want to start talking to the referees because I want to know how did the interpretation of just that one action, that changed the game probably more than anything. And if you were allowed to do how these guys are doing, like, Bo, of course you can do things that you couldn't do because you weren't allowed to do that just by the rules itself. So, I think the referees, Bo, I want to get the referees on the show because how did that happen? Like, I don't remember it being like a thing like we're just not going to call it. But I remember one of those, it kind of gradually, that was just kind of how it evolved. Where suddenly now, when you watch, like, for instance, Luca Doncic, like, no one was allowed to dribble that way.
Yeah, the game has changed.
And I've mentioned that before. Luca carries almost every time before he when he does his skip gather, right before he uses the high screen, like, like he sets it up. And the reason why he sets it up like that, because if his man is coming to screen and he does that little hesitation gather, or he skips with it, once he rises up and puts that ball in the ball, his hand on the ball like this, depending on how his defender reacts to it, he can either use that screen and go left, or he can rise up and then cross and lose his defender and go the opposite way, right? But it's an illegal move every single time he does it, and he does it every single time, man. So before I even get started, Todd Jones, I appreciate you in the cash app with the $10 cash app. Anybody that want to donate to the channel to help me improve and upgrade things like things of that nature, or if you just want to donate for the cause, I appreciate that. But Todd Jones just hit me up in the cash app. The cash app is in the description box if y'all curious about it. But listening to BJ Armstrong talk about that advantage, and then thinking about Allen Iverson, who was the only one doing it, and it was such an advantage in the minds of the NBA and the competition committee that they had to ban it. They banned his entire crossover. It was the Iverson crossover. We're banning it. You got to figure out a new way to cross over. You can't put your hand on the bottom of the ball no more, right? But think about it being legal for everyone to do it, and people are doing even more carrying in it, right? And think about what that does for the defender as far as putting him in a disadvantage and putting the offensive player at advantage. And then think of all the other rules they have relaxed on to help the offense, like the screen. You can move on your screens now, right? Golden State Warriors are notorious and famous for getting Steph Curry and Klay Thompson open with several moving screens, and it's allowed, and it's not the only team that's doing it. Like, those screens, you had to be 100% stationary with nothing, none of your limbs, your elbows or your hips, nothing outside of your body. Everything had to be in here, and you had to set that screen properly, and you had to really be stationary. And it was up to the guard who's or the ball handler who's using the screen to make sure he get his shoulder as close as possible to your shoulder. That way, the defender that's guarding him, he can't shoot the gap. There's no, you give him no space when you're going to use that screen. Now you don't have to close that gap. You can leave it as open as possible and just run that way, and the screener can move to close the gap, right? So imagine this is the screener, and I have to run this way, this close to him. That way, the defender behind me has to trail, because I'm not giving a space for the defender to get between me and my screener. You have to rub with him around this way on the screen. But what they're doing now is they're just going this way, and the screener is moving to close that gap and hit the guy. I'm gonna show you first. I'm gonna show, but the screens is one of them. Carrying the ball is another one. Traveling is another one. Right. These are all things on that, as far as the rules, they relaxed on, and is an advantage to the offensive player. And it's because Adam Silver wanted to see more points. Hey, I'm not going to handicap the offense in any way. I want to see more points. And that daggone step back, which is another travel. So I'm gonna show you examples of all of that. Right. So this is Luca. Look at him. I told you, every time he about to use, that's a carry. So he carried, right? And then once he gets in the post, he's going to carry one. That's a carry. Two, and he's going to fake a pass on his third carry. It's so bad. Look, I want to pass, and he carried again. That's 3 carries. You had 4 opportunities to call a carry on him, and he does that every single time down court. Watch him use the screen and carry again. I think, is this the same play? He did it. He did it subtle. Here you go again. Watch him. Watch him. He's carrying the ball. He's carrying the ball right there. Every time that little hop skip, that little skip gather he does is a carry every single time. He put the ball the hand under his ball and on his hip. He dribbles in a carrying motion. His entire dribble is a carry, right? Then you're going to see these screens. I want you to see these screens. He moved. He just closed the gap. Steph Curry did not run and get close to. That gap had to be closed by the screener. Right? There's another moving, and then there's another moving. Bogut moved on the right. Here's another moving. Like all those screens are moving. They don't even call those anymore. All the Golden State screens are moving. They move on all of the screens, and they're allowed. And Golden State is not the only team who can do it. Right? Everybody can use those screens because they want the points. They want to see the points go up. They're going to allow moving screens. They're going to allow carrying. They're going to allow traveling. Right? How did they start interpreting these rules? I don't understand. And if you start interpreting these rules, then a player like Steph Curry can't run around loose like he wants to. And guess what you're going to have to do when you playing a very physical game? There's the traveling there. They don't even care about traveling anymore. You don't even have to dribble the ball no more. This is almost net ball, except you can run. Just traveling is everywhere. And then the phantom foul calls. I hate when you initiate all the contact and get the foul. Phantom foul calls. Like, what am I supposed to do as a defender if you can travel, set illegal screens, run into me and get a foul, jump on my back and get a foul? Like, what is a defender supposed to, like? I have every disadvantage, and then you can travel on a step back. So you can travel coming toward me. You can travel on a step back. You can get illegal screens off the ball. You can get fouls by just running into me. Look at this. He put his arm on PG-13 and got to the line. Right? More traveling. Look at this. What are we doing in the NBA? What are we doing? What are we doing? So if you're telling me these offensive players are supposed to be so good and so skilled, then why do you need to allow illegal screens? Why do you need to allow them to be able to carry the ball? Why do you need to allow them to be able to travel? And why do you need to allow them to be able to throw their body in front of me and get a foul call every single time? Right? So those four things right there, if you started enforcing the rule properly on those four things, then these guards would have to utilize everything in the NBA will go back to normal, because now the counterbalance to really good defense was, I got a big 7-footer down low that I can throw the ball on the post, and you're not going to out muscle him, right? Because I can out muscle Steph Curry, and I can put a bigger defender on him and neutralize him. And with the defense, if he wasn't able to travel and use illegal screens to get open and then throw his body into me to get to the free throw line, if you don't have that, now what do you have? I have to throw the ball in the post to my big man to see if I can get some points. So if you start enforcing the rule and get rid of this freedom of movement and all this other bull crap, you would have to be forced to utilize the post game again and bring your bigs back into the game, right? You would have to be forced to run plays again, because now I gotta set double screens to get Steph open, and possibly he might get a little jump shot mid range. The mid range will come back, the post game will come back, the big man will come back, defense will come back, and the NBA as we know it will come back, right? So that's my thoughts on it, man. I'm not gonna open the phone lines up for this one. I do want to get into some of these comments. And Cash, I appreciate the super chat, man. $19 super chat. Shout out to Man Down for being on the other panel and having some great takes with angry old hoop fan. I got you from. Thanks, Cash, man. I appreciate it, bro. Thanks for the super chat. But let me get into some of these comments before I move on. Let me see where I started at, man. There's a lot of comments in here. Where do I start? You know what? I can't read. I try to get I just open the phone lines up. How about that? Call in. Let me get 2 phone calls on this topic, man. What do you think? Do you think the NBA is allowing all of those things to be unchecked and uncalled because they want more scoring? And do you think they need to go ahead and tighten up on it? And I mean, how would you feel about the NBA instead of teams averaging 105, 110 points a game, it go back down to like 95, 90? Like, I don't mind it. I don't mind those 85, 75 games, 89, 78 games. I don't mind those. Those games was exciting to me. I got to see defense. And when the defense is really good, every possession count, every shot count, man. The basketball, it just gets I mean, it might look sloppy at times because the defense is real good, but hey, it is what it is, man. CR, what's up, man?
What's up, man? It's Shout Rider, man. How you feeling, man?
I'm good. What's up, bro?
Man, look, the league is cooked, man. It's over, man. It's over. These boys, they just want to score, man. It's like, look, they can just run up and down the court like it's football, and just they ain't got to do no dribbling or nothing, man. Just let them go like it's football, man. It's a damn joke at this point, man.
Do you think they will go back? Do you think they see it now? Can they see it now? Like, have we complained enough that they can see it?
I think they see it, but the money that they're getting, they don't even care. They don't care they just like, look, we're getting this money.
That's a good point.
So we're gonna do what we're gonna do. So it's all about the money. What's up, Shay girl? I see you in there.
That's a good point, man. Good Lord.
Yeah, it's all about the money, man. They don't care about the passion, the fans, man. They don't care about none of us no more, man. So they done phased us out, man. They phased all of the old school, fans out, all of the MJ supporters, whoever who was riding with the, the old days, the 90s and 80s. They're like, nah, we getting them out of get the dinosaurs out of here. We want the casual fans in. Yeah, I mean, pretty much that's all they're thinking about is the casual fans.
Yeah, they pushing us out.
Us, man.
They pushing us out, man. We're gonna have to find another league, man. We're gonna have to find another league. Hey, that WNBA might be where we need to go. They playing some good basketball. That WNBA might be where we need to go. If they lead, I guarantee you, if the WNBA, if they open it up to where these females can come out early, maybe after their sophomore year instead of junior, right?
Okay.
So that means Juju Watkins will be in the draft next year, whatever the case may be. If it's so many, this recruiting class coming in as freshmen for college is so good. I really want you to go look at who the top 10 players is. It's unreal. Like I promise you, brother, it's unreal how good these girls are, man. I just seen a girl who has the body of maybe Maya Moore. Like, she's a big body, look like she should be playing a forward or something like this, except she got guard skills like Juju Watkins. And I think she's the number one player. It's unreal, bro. It's so much talent coming out. If they actually get this into the WNBA, and if the WNBA can move away from the NBA, because I don't think the NBA really means them any good. They're not really trying to market them for real. If they leave the NBA and become independent, they could really have that league really popping. I promise you.
Yeah, they got to lower that. They got to lower that rim, Mel.
No, they don't.
Lower that rim.
No, they don't. They don't need to lower that rim.
Dunking, man. We got to see some dunking.
Nah, but see that, but that's a cat. But that sound like the people that the NBA want. Like, basketball ain't all about dunking. Come on. At one point, dunking was illegal. Basketball is a beautiful sport without the dunking.
Right.
It really is, man. It's a beautiful sport, man. It's like the sweet science of boxing, man. When I see an illegal screen and then Steph Curry gets an open three off of it, someone might look at that and be like, oh man, I love to see Steph Curry hit threes. That's one thought process. But the way I view basketball, I'm disgusted. Yeah, I'm disgusted because the screen was illegal. You get what I'm saying? That's the stuff I'm thinking about. I forget that he made the three and it was pretty and it tied the game up. I'm disgusted that they didn't call that illegal screen. That's how I think about it, man. So yeah, I'd rather just see the pureness of the sport other than all the other stuff, man. That's just my thoughts.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I want to see it. Look, call it like you're supposed to call it, man. Just, and I know the refs see it. They see it. I know they see the traveling, they see the walking, they see the carrying. they're looking dead at the players. They see you taking 4, 5, 6, 7 steps, and they just still watching. It's like, what are you doing? Blow the damn whistle.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, so.
Facts. All right, let me take this one last call, man, and then I'm gonna move on.
Great show, man. Great show, man. All right, I'm gonna be calling in again.
All right, brother.
All right, later.
Caller from Georgia, what's up? Caller from Georgia, what's up? All right, we lost the caller from Georgia. I give him about 5 more seconds to call in. Oh, another caller from Cali. Caller from California, what's up?
What's good? It's the real Eleasy.
What's up, big dog? What's your thoughts?
My thoughts, bro, is they're gonna have to kind of like bring it back down to the defense so they can start promoting more American-born players because they kind of got away from that, so they can like expand globally.
Yep.
And that's where you see they're promoting, like, you know what I'm saying, the Jokers and, you know what I'm saying, all these, you know, European players. And we know that they don't really, the game is not the same over there, the physicality. They play physical over there because the referees allow them to get away with stuff, but they want to draw those European players, they had to kind of like, you know, make it, you know, less physical. That's why you see a lot of free throws. Just a lot of free throws being shot. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But the real hoopers and the real old school basketball players, real basketball players who go out there and grew up playing on the playgrounds and playing, you know what I'm saying, back in the day in leagues and stuff like that, they know what the game is supposed to look like. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like the previous caller said, I mean, it's all about money. Come on, man.
That's facts.
You know, money like rule everything. So in order to, you know, get, you know, more TV deals and to expand the game globally, the game had to, you know, take a shift and a turn in this direction. It's sad for people like myself and maybe yourself too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm used to the final score being 79-84. Like in every possession, like you said, mattered. You know what I'm saying? And you got excited when people got to stop. You know what I'm saying? You really, and then they was talking trash. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
nowadays,
it was good.
Everybody got secret handshakes, bro. Everybody liked each other. And that's why I love Russell Westbrook. He don't have no friends out there. He talking trash to any and everybody. It ain't no special handshake. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's the basketball that we grew up on, bro. Like, you didn't see Kobe out here and Jordan had secret handshakes with people. They was getting in fights with people, mixing it up with, like, the next best player on the next best team. Like,
I mean, but Jordan was friends with Ewing and Barkley and all them dudes that, you know,
he was friends with them, but you wouldn't be able to tell in the game.
Nah, you wouldn't be able to tell. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to tell. I couldn't tell as a kid watching the game for sure.
They off the court, but yeah, you're right. They were, and Charles Oakley, that was his guy, but Charles Oakley laid him on his back numerous times.
Sure did.
After he got traded from the Bulls. You know
sure
what I'm
did.
saying?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, man. That's a good call, though. I appreciate the call. All right, thanks, man. I appreciate the call.
Appreciate you, bro.
All right. Yeah, man. The new NBA is for people like me, man. It brings me to tears, man. You can drown a fish in the amount of tears that I be shedding watching these games, man. It's, you know, I just be hurt.